Hi, I'm Abraham Wrigley. I started college in Jacksonville, Florida while working at a Winn-Dixie. Um, I've gone through trade schools, I've done hiking, I've done exploring, fishing, wildlife. Um, I got my Boy Scouts and Life Scouts when I was 16 years old and now 14, and from there I like doing adventuring and stuff like that, going out on a whim and having fun. That's like my personality, and I don't like breaking the law. Um, I like paying all my bills, and I found myself in some financial trouble, but that's because of my adventure, and we'll get to there. So I started this YouTube channel. I've been following a lot of military folks because I had a grandfather that was in World War II, and he's my hero. I never got to meet him. I wish I could. And yeah, I love adventuring, having fun. So let's see. I began my adventure from Jacksonville, Florida to Kentucky first. I went to Kentucky for trade school, graduated. Then um, I went back to Jacksonville. I tried to find employment, but I couldn't find really any good employment with my trade. And then second off, I got a second trade, and the second trade is merchant marining. I like merchant marining. Anybody likes talking about merchant marining? I love ships and boats. I'm not well versed or studied in any famous vessels, but my favorite one is probably the George Bush Senior um, class cruiser, or not cruiser. Sorry, I'm having a little brain fart. It's hot out today. Um, the George Bush um, 77 carrier class. That's my favorite ship. I think my second favorite is definitely George Washington Nimitz. That thing is slick. I mean, it is so cool. It was an honor being in the Merchant Marines as a civilian. I have a lot of regrets while working in civilian work for the DoD, but it was only a year, and I'm out. I don't, it's like, yeah, y'all are top of the line people, and I just didn't fit in, and so I then left the Merchant Marines from Virginia, and came back home to Jacksonville, and after I came back home from Jacksonville, I started working at a Winn-Dixie, and I liked working at Winn-Dixie a lot. I was homeless while working at Winn-Dixie. Um, you know, it's pretty tough, but that was some trouble. I never got in any trouble, but oh my God, people put me through it. It's like nope, 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 nope. Yeah, Um, and like staying safe too, that drives it up a wall also. But at the same time, you know, safety, security, and love of life, and having a big heart and helping people out whenever you can. That's like what I liked doing. Um, and then I got an apartment. Had an apartment over in Jacksonville, and I worked at the Winn-Dixie Deli for like a good while, about from 2019 2024, and I went through trade school, welding. I should have applied my welding at Winn-Dixie. They got soldering, but it was like, I like cooking, making food. I love making food. Like like if I get this channel up going, I can show you guys how to make some really good food. I got recipes that I remember, sort of, kind of. I gotta have the right utensils and stuff like that. But I worked in the deli, closed the seafood department, meat department. I never did any butchery, but I always cleaned up their stuff, and I just loved working, providing for people. I said some stuff while I was employed, and I never wanted to say those things, but it comes with the territory in Jacksonville, because Jacksonville is related to Andrew Jackson, and I come from Andrew Jackson's Cut of the Cloth, which isn't good. But the thing is, my grandfather's from Chicago. Okay, so it's like, we're part of the Union anyway. Yeah, God bless the Union. And, I may be painted or made out to be a bad guy, because I know I'm going to get so much shit if I become famous. I already know every little thing in detail that they want to throw at me to ruin my personality and embarrass me. Trust me, it's disgusting. It's like getting born in shit and piss. Okay, so I like wilderness stuff. From Winn-Dixie, while working at Winn-Dixie, I did college. I tried applying for economics. I have well-read in economics and philosophy. I love philosophy, and I love God most of all. I really do love God. Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. The Holy Spirit watches and guides us as we walk and breathe, and He guides me like a good shepherd. So, one day I'm trying to be, college economist, but at the same time, I played video games for hours. I mean, I had played so many video games. I could, I've played like from when Minecraft was originated as like the big Cadoo to like, some Amnesia, and from Amnesia all the way to, Counter-Strike. That was a really big one back in the day. Quake was huge. Halo 1 was kind of like, almost on that, like, I guess, trend related fame, but it was mostly like Halo 2 online with the Xbox was awesome. I mean, it was like the best that I ever had. But yeah, anyways, back to my story. I then went from Jacksonville to DC because I saw Trump was getting inaugurated. And, I pray for our president. I love our president. I respect our president. I love his upholdance to the Constitution in his works and daily, things that he goes about and does. But I'm not, it's like, I'm not going to worship the president, but yeah, that is my leader. So I went to DC just on a whim, had some funds coming in from college, and, was flunking my classes, found out I'm not the smartest person in the world real quick. I mean, I got my hiney tanned, I went there, I slept in Teddy Roosevelt's Park. There's Teddy Roosevelt's Park right outside of DC. I spent maybe one night in this really awful Days Inn. I mean, the Days Inn was like, no. It was like, the Days Inn was awful. Like, never going back to that Days Inn ever again. So I slept in the Teddy Roosevelt's Memorial Park. God rest his soul, and I saw Joe Biden leaving with the helicopter. I love Joe Biden too, because he's the president, and I do respect the president. But under Trump's administration, it is better in my eyes and my walk of life, even as a homeless person. So I really do give kudos for President Trump's fighting spirit that keeps America's heart, is definitely Melania. She's awesome as a POTUS. I mean, she really uplifts and gives these women self-esteem and a lot of spotlight that they need. She's probably one of my favorite presidential first ladies. And so, anyway, off that topic, because I don't want to go too deep and all that, but Trump is pretty cool. And when I was there at the inauguration, they had some really good places to eat. I really, really do like eating at DC, and then I got out of there. I went over to Michigan. I went through Illinois. I went up to Jackson, Illinois, and I went to Abraham Lincoln's tomb, respectively. I may have been reading like some graves and was shocked by the graves and let out a little hoop and holler. But I went there respectively because he is a president and was president. He's a national treasure. And then I left from Illinois, Jacksonville, Illinois, to Ohio. And I went, and I've been sleeping in the snow in a truck that's like yay big since February 20th. And February 20th, that's when I arrived like the 19th of February, but in DC, and then I went through inauguration, of course, and then I went up into Ohio, and I saw Ohio College. That's huge. Ohio University is giant. I mean, I had never seen a university in my life. And like when I got to the university town, I was like, this kind of reminds me of Gainesville when driving through like one time. But like I never got to like see Ohio's university. I was like, what? I'm going to keep my life. Because Benjamin Franklin's Don't Tread on Me movement, and this is the internet. The internet was invented by two knights. That's pretty interesting. They got knighthood. I didn't know that for inventing the internet. That's astonishing. But the Benjamin Franklin Don't Tread on Me movement, while I was in D.C., I went to D.C., I took a picture of the Capitol, and I saw the new, or the old flag next to the new flag, and there was a giant circle in the middle of it, and that's the 13 colonies, and I respect them, and I'm not treading on them, and that's theirs, and, I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, and, I'm not married, I don't have any kids, so I'm just kind of like living out, doing, venturing. I got 2 fishing rods, I got a bicycle, and I got my truck, and I just started my job at Mavericks in Sydney, Nebraska. If you're a truck driver and you see this video, come stop by. I'm not running it, I got a manager, of course, but I'm working at the night shift, and I just got this job, and I'm really excited and happy. I'm going and taking showers, and then I'm going to work, changing out my clothes to new clothes, going to the laundromat, washing my clothes at the laundromat, and I'm going to get an apartment. And once I get an apartment, I'm going to give my tithe, and then after I give my tithe to the church, I'm going to pay my apartment and all my bills, and start paying all my bills. But, yeah, this is my life, It's like, alright, so I got to Michigan, and when I went into Michigan, I looked for merchant marine jobs, and, it was still winter. It wasn't spring, so, I went up in the winter. They got these giant windmills, and I was like shocked how big they were. But during that winter, they were frozen. The windmills were half frozen. So it's like maybe like 3 out of 4 were working halfway up into Michigan. But further down into Nebraska area, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Ohio, Idaho area, that area was lots of wind, huge turbines. Those were running. So when I came down from Michigan, I made it to Ohio, and there was like this dark personality that was following me after I left, and I think that it was like a calling, go to church type thing. But then I was out in the national parks. They were paid like $20 a night, go fishing, etc. And I didn't catch anything because it was too cold. But I really did. I went all over America. I met a lot of interesting people. I got stuck at truck stops. I got stuck in one speed trap. I went to a Seminole National Park. Absolutely beautiful. And had never seen such a beautiful national park like that, and very respectively. Up north is my cup of tea. My grandfather's from here, and I'm enjoying it. But it's up to your personality and how you treat people. That's got to be like one of the best things about being in life constantly every single day since outside, just kind of hanging out with them. And seeing Mother Nature. Okay, alright, so I was at Running Wolf. This was crazy. I was at Running Wolf and I had a cougar jump in the back of my truck while I was laying in the truck like this, like a bed. And while she was laying in the back of the truck, she also come around and she was trying to hunt me while I was in my truck. And I was like, what? Yeah. And that was kind of weird. I've seen super wolves, like wolves that were like bred with coyotes that run in a pack of like 8, that were like these black wolves, and they would like snarl under my truck. And I had a mouse that was living in my truck. See, I don't have a car stereo, but I was just living in my truck with this mouse, and the mouse died on my engine on the way here, so it smelled like something to eat. And these wolves would come over and around my truck, and they were big. They were huge wolves. They were like, I would say 5'8" in length, up to like 4 inches tall, and they moved like velociraptors, and they were a pack of 8, and they were big. Like they were like predators. I had never came across a scarier animal than a wolf. All I had was bear mace. Oh, and I went to Canada too. So Trump tariffs first got embargoed around, what was that, May 17th, something like that. No, it's August or something. I don't know. It's August now, or no, it's June. Gotta be August. Is it August? Oh, I gotta check the date. It's June 30th. August is tomorrow. And so I went to Canada, and like through Idaho, I went to Canada. I was trying to go to Alaska to do more merchant marining, and when I went to I went into Idaho rather than Seattle, and I should have kept going to Seattle and took they call it Dead Man's Bluff. It's like up in like this, like, so you got Seattle here, and then like I'm drawing with my finger, like this is Dead Man's Bluff, and then you get into Canada, and then you go into Alaska. And I was trying to head to Alaska to do more merchant marining, and I was off to try and, you know, get something done in merchant marine and stuff like that. Because I have my credentials and they expire eventually, and it's really difficult to get them unexpired once they expire. So it's like I'm going through a giant waste of time in my life where I could be earning like up to like $4,000 every 2 weeks working on a ship that goes out to sea for like 6 months at a time. You know, it's just a giant waste of time. You know, as a civilian, it's not what I like doing. Is wasting time. It's just, you know, getting older. I got long gray hair, stuff like that. You know, and the entire time I had goofballs, you know, stealing gas out of my tank. That would drive me up a wall. I had 3 times my tank was siphoned, and also I had this, have you ever heard of IBM Social? Look up IBM. It's on IBM. It's not created by IBM, but it's what people do. It's IBM has an amazing article about social hacking or people hacking. And I got people hacked when I was going across country, and they would make me lock my keys in my truck. So I would have to call a tow truck company to come and unlock my truck. And eventually I bought a kit to unlock my truck for myself. Eventually. But I went across country, and I got IBM hacked a couple times. And yeah, I had some encounters with UFOs. I'd seen 3 unidentified flying objects. I mean, like, there was like something that I had never seen in my life, or could even fathomably imagine. You know, that was kind of interesting. I don't know what it was. And yeah, I been traveling, and yeah, it's June 30th. I've been homeless for, let's see how long I've been homeless. I couldn't stay at my mom's because I got kicked out something like 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit less than 2.5 years ago. But I've been training all my life, working out. Recently, when I started working out, like heavy working out when I was, let's see, I love working out. Working out is awesome. I mean, it keeps me alive. I love exercising. I got some fat on me, but that's because of my situation, and I could eventually trim up or something like that. Barking tree spiders. And let's see, I started working out when I was 22. No, 19. I started working out when I was 19, and I kept on the ball. I think the most I could leg press on my max was like, max working out, I got like, let's see, 875 pounds, 3 times 3, I think. Yeah, 3 times. So I can do 3 sets of 3 of 875 pounds. That was like the most that I could put onto the leg press. I used to play baseball. I liked baseball. And I got a baseball right there. I love carrying around my baseball. It's my famous Braves. That's the Braves baseball. It's signed by the 2004 Braves team, the entire team. And yeah, I've been traveling around. I had a pop tire in Idaho. I've had some transmission issues on my radios. And yeah, so that's my story so far, and I can go into further details, but that's the gist of where I'm at today. And I'll go into some explainers of past video games. I'll start talking about video game history, the beginnings, the updates, and stuff like that, things that I remember. I like reading books. I pick up books all the time, and I just sit down and I read it. I'll go months on just staying away from what's up to date and just start reading a book. Like I read books for hours. I've read some really dense books, like books like this thick on like how society is, yeah, how society is, like things like that, like what creates a society. I read this book called the Vikings Portable Guide. That one was really dense. I mean, like I read the entire thing from front to back, and they have so many PhD, and I'm not messing with their work because their work is precise, but it was a really good read. I read Redwall growing up, like the animals, I liked How to Tame Your Dragon. I read all of the How to Tame Your Dragon. That was like the best book ever. What is my favorite book? My favorite book was this pirate book from back in the day that had like something to do with these water horses. I can never remember the title. If any of y'all know what that book is, drop it in the comments. And let me see. I like bike riding. I go mile bike riding. But yeah, this is my first YouTube video. I'm Abe. Nice meeting you. And I hope that the snow days aren't too rough on any of y'all anymore. And I hope all y'all's lives are getting up and running and stuff. I used to get stuck in school with snow days. Awful. Alright, have a good day. Bye.